I'm going to introduce myself and then my guest panelists, starting with myself. My name is Dante Cooper. I'm an inspirational speaker and blessed to be the host, facilitator, and moderator of this particular segment. And then I'm going to introduce my guest panelists, starting to my far left.
I'm Michael Barcliffe, self-published author of the book Voiceless, the Journal of an Underground Starving Artist.
My name is Linda White, professional leadership coach.
Starting to my far right.
My name is Randy Brown, artist, engineer, and nutritional advisor.
And our today's guest panelist.
Linda Carrington, President, CEO of Diversified Strategies Financial Services.
Now, we're very lucky to have our guest panelists today. So our hot topic today, of course, is entrepreneurship. We're going to start right here. Entrepreneurship is not nothing new in this country. As a matter of fact, at one point, everyone was an entrepreneur. There was no such thing as a job except what you did for compensation. What do you feel is holding most people back from becoming an entrepreneur?
Fear, and they get tied to a job. They don't have the faith to move on.
They say fear is an acronym for false expectations appearing real. How do you feel about that, Mr. Brown?
I feel as that's a correct acronym to describe what fear is. Faith, people that walk in faith, they say that they do not walk in fear because they walk in faith. So that gives them a little advantage to walk bravely in uncharted waters. That's one thing that I experienced in my journey as an entrepreneur. Just stepping out, doing something that you ordinarily would not do. You get locked into that corporate or whatever, that 9-to-5 job that you proclaim. You get locked and you don't know what is outside of that, so you are scared to walk in those uncharted waters.
Mr. Barcliffe, you started as an entertainer at a fairly young age, and that's a stretch for a lot of people. What do you stand on entrepreneurship?
I think another thing that may hold back some small business owners is big corporations. Take the barbershop movie, for example, when you had the small business owner being pushed out of his own territory by the big, giant Walmarts of the world. And capitalism, it has its, good points, but unchecked capitalism is bad for a lot of people. And we've seen some of the residual effects of that in our communities.
They say power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Let me ask you, Ms. White, you are a boss now. Where do you stand on entrepreneurship?
Well, the initial question that you asked was about what holds people back from exploring that concept, and fear definitely does drive that. I believe what drives that fear is the sacrifice that is necessary to realize your success. Life happens, and so we get stuck in a rut of the routine of trying to make a living so that we can survive. And I think the fear of losing that and losing control of our little world, our part of the world, causes us not to strive to run after those passions. And we have to tell ourselves, my passion is worth it. And we have to try to manage that fear so that we can get out of analysis paralysis, if you will, and not doing anything about it, and make small steps toward what we're wanting to do.
When we come back, we're going to talk about more about the personal sacrifices that Ms. White mentioned, and